Okay, so this webinar will be recorded, and I understand that you can also watch it later on YouTube as well on the IBEC channel. Now, today what I will talk about will be the scholarships that you can get at the University of Warwick, right? Now, before I go into the scholarships, I hope you enjoyed the video just now that you see, where you saw actually one of our Warwick alumni from Indonesia. Her name is Alanda Kariza. She was actually a Chevening scholar, right? And, she talked about how, Warwick helped her to develop and all that. But before I go into the details about the different scholarships available, I just want to do a quick introduction for those of you who are not familiar with the University of Warwick. Now, in terms of the location of the University of Warwick, that's the first thing you should know. Where is it, right? So we are located in the city of Coventry, which is actually very close to London. In terms, if you take a train ride, it's 1 hour away from London by train, and we are also 20 minutes away from Birmingham, right? And so we are sandwiched in between these two big cities in the UK, and yet at the same time, the beauty of it is that we have the best of both worlds. On the one hand, we're so close to these big cities, Birmingham, London. On the other hand, Warwick is actually in a sort of countryside campus. And I'm going to show you photos of the campus later, right? So Warwick is centrally located, and that's the first thing you should know. We're in the city of Coventry. Just a little bit of information about Coventry. We're the 11th largest city in the UK. Coventry was named the UK City of Culture, and it is also home to the British motor industry. So basically the car making industry. In fact, Jaguar Land Rover, they have the headquarters in Coventry, right? And also, you might be interested to know that in Coventry, Islam is actually the second most followed religion after Christianity. I know some of the Indonesian students, especially the Muslim students, they might feel a bit worried. Oh, can I practice my religion when I go to the UK? That's absolutely not a problem. Like I said, in terms of facilities, mosques and all that, you will have what you need to follow your religious obligations. Now, moving on beyond Coventry, now let me talk to you a little bit about Warwick, right? Some fast facts: we are a university of 28,000 students with 104 Indonesian students at the latest count, right? So we have actually 104 Indonesian students on campus and growing. And so that's something that we're very excited about. We are a campus where 35% of the students are international. And again, that's one of the exciting things about going to study at Warwick. You go to Warwick, not only do you meet British people, but you will also meet friends from all over the world. You'll meet friends from Latin America, you'll meet friends from North America, Middle East, Australia, from all over the world. So that's another really exciting part about coming to Warwick. I've mentioned that we are located in a beautiful countryside campus, and I'm going to show you some photos later. But I want to talk about first the reputation of the University of Warwick. Now, we are a top 10 UK university, and many of our subjects are actually in the top 5, such as business, economics, education studies, engineering, mathematics, politics, and sociology, right? So overall, we are top 10. We've got a good number of subjects which are actually in the top 5, and even more, individual courses that are also in the top 10. Now, in terms of our ranking in the world, we are number 61 in the QS World University Rankings and number 78 in the Times Higher Education Rankings. Something else that we are very proud of is the fact that just this year we were named, for 2022, we were named the University of the Year runner-up by the Good University Guide, and also we got the award of being the University of the Year for teaching quality, right? So this is something that's very important. Warwick, is a very research-intensive university. That means our faculty, they are creating new knowledge, they are discovering new things, they are writing books and articles for the academic community. But not only are we good at that, producing knowledge, but we are also very good at transmitting knowledge, sharing the knowledge with our students. And that has helped us win the award of Good University Guide University of the Year for teaching quality in 2022. So that's a little bit about our reputation. Now, you see this photo, don't worry, this is not what we look like now. This was the University of Warwick when we first started in 1965. But thanks to the close links with business and industry, because we've got lots of links with industry and the continuous investment in the university, this is what campus looks like nowadays. Now, if you look at the bottom half of the photo, the brown color buildings where the cursor is moving, these are actually some of the accommodations available, right? Just some of them that's available. So the top half of the photo where you can see all the white color buildings, that is where the central campus is, where you can find the faculty buildings, you can find the library, you can find the Warwick Art Center, you can find the Musalla, which is also in central campus, right? So that is where central campus is, in the top half, in the white color buildings. But imagine you can actually live so close to campus. If you're living in one of these accommodations here, you can just, wake up 5 minutes before your lecture probably, and then run to classes if you need to, right? So everything is within, it looks big here, but everything is actually within walking distance. We provide a safe environment for our students with regular 24/7 patrols by campus security. And there's also a real sense of community, a real sense of belonging. Now, the other 3 slides, I'm going to talk about the different faculties and the subjects you can study at the University of Warwick, right? So you might wonder, okay, what can I study there? Faculty of Arts, you have all these subjects listed here. We have the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Medicine, and these are all the different disciplines that you can study at the University of Warwick. And of course, the Faculty of Social Sciences, where, as some of you might know, our economics department, our business school, our law school, our politics department, these are all very, very strong departments, right? So Faculty of Social Sciences. Now, I am ready to talk about the main thing that all of you are here today to listen about, which is scholarships. Now, our scholarships, I've been working with Warwick for about 8 years, and I can tell you that these days, I've never seen so many scholarships being given out at Warwick before, right? So because I've been working for 8 years, and I feel like today we have the most scholarships that I have ever seen. And the scholarships happen at all the different levels of the university. Now, you might know that the University of Warwick, we offer foundation program. So this is for the students who are graduating from SMA Negeri, from the national curriculum. They cannot go directly to undergraduate degree. So they have to do the Warwick Foundation program. And for Warwick Foundation program, we do have a scholarship. And I will tell you for all the different levels. Bachelor degree, what are the scholarships available? Master's degree, what are the scholarships available? PhD degree, what are the scholarships available, right? So we will start from the beginning, which is the foundation program. Now, for 2022, the foundation program, we are offering a director's scholarship, which is worth £5,000, right? Which is worth £5,000. And we are giving away 2 of these. Now, eligibility requirements include being self-funded. So if you are an SMR student, national curriculum student, and you want to go to foundation program, you need to be self-funded in order to be able to apply for the scholarship. And you also need to apply and ensure your personal statement meets the requirements, right? So, as long as you have applied to Warwick Foundation Program and make sure that you have written the personal statement in the way that we have asked you for, right, you will be automatically considered for the scholarship, right? So all students who have accepted their conditional offer and they have paid the academic deposit for the course by 30th of June, sorry, 2022, it should be 2022. There's a typo there. So as long as you have accepted a conditional offer and paid your academic deposit, you will be automatically considered for the scholarship, right? Now, more information will be provided on the website, okay? So, what I will do later is that I will drop you all the links. I will tell you, okay, more information will be available on the website, right? So later on, at the end of my presentation, I will put in the chat box all the links. So you can go and look for the links for the program that you're interested in, and then you can click the link and then you can find out more, all right? Okay, moving on. The second scholarship I want to talk about is the undergraduate scholarships. This is for the students who are going to study their bachelor degree, okay? Now, for the bachelor degree program, we actually have two different scholarships, right? The first scholarship that I want to talk about is the Warwick Undergraduate Global Excellence Scholarship, okay? Now, what will you get for this scholarship? Now, the award details. So basically, in 2022, 250 scholarships will be awarded to exceptional students, right? And out of the 250, it will be divided as follows. 20 scholarships will be full fee scholarships, full fees. So that means if you get one of these 20 scholarships, you don't have to pay tuition fee at all. You just have to pay for your living cost, and that is it, right? So 20 full fee scholarships will be available. On top of that, we have another 160 £13,000 scholarships, right? And it's £13,000 per year. So every single year, you will get a £13,000 scholarship for the duration of your undergraduate course. And then finally, the smallest award is a £2,000 scholarship, and we have 70 of those. Okay, so that's what you get. So when we say £13,000, £2,000, please note that it is not cash, right? So you can't, it's not cash in hand. What we will do is we will deduct it from your tuition fees. Okay, now how will you be eligible for this award? Now, to be eligible, you need to be self-funded. You need to be international fee paying. So that means basically you need to be an Indonesian citizen. Yeah, you're not paying the same fees as the British nationals, right? Because you're an international student. So you're paying international student fees. You need to apply to study at Warwick by the UCAS application deadline, right? Now, for 2022, the deadline for the UCAS application was 26th of January 2022. So the application has already passed. Okay, so for those of you who are thinking of studying for your bachelor degree, right? If you are going to go to the UK in 2022, well, I hope you have applied by the UCAS application deadline, because if you have, then you can qualify for this scholarship, right? For this Warwick Undergraduate Global Scholarship, you have to apply for the scholarship, right? So that means, whereas the foundation program I spoke to about earlier, that one was automatic consideration. For the undergraduate scholarship, you have to write an essay to apply for the scholarship, right? And so at Warwick, there are two types of scholarships. One type is that you will be automatically considered, so there's no scholarship application to be made. And then there's another type where you also, not only do you have to apply for Warwick, but you also have to apply for the scholarship later. Okay, so this scholarship, Warwick Undergraduate Global Excellence, is one of those where you actually have to apply for the scholarship as well. Now, another eligibility is that later on you need to receive an offer from Warwick in order to finally win the scholarship. And again, there will be more information provided on the website. Now, I want to inform all of you today that For some of the scholarships I talk about today, for 2022 entry, you will have missed the deadline, right? You will have missed the deadline because maybe the deadline was January, or maybe the deadline was in early February. Then you feel like, oh, then why am I watching this? Why am I attending this? The thing is, these scholarships, whilst I'm talking about 2022, sometimes these scholarships will be repeated in future years. Sometimes the scholarships will be repeated in 2023, right? And so when I talk to you about the deadlines, it is to help you actually prepare for 2023 entry as well, right? So if you are thinking of going to Warwick in 2023, you already know what are the scholarships to look out for. You already know what are the deadlines. You already know when to start applying for the scholarship, right? So that's something I just want to clarify. This scholarship talk is not, even though the scholarships I talk about, you will see the date 2022, but actually it can be repeated. It's possible that the scholarship will be repeated again in 2023. So it helps you to understand what are the scholarships available and the kinds of deadlines you should be watching out for. All right. Okay, so that was the first undergraduate scholarship. Now I'm going to move on to the second undergraduate scholarship, which is the Yayasan Al-Bukhari Scholarship. Now for this scholarship, in 2022, we are pleased to offer 10 merit-based scholarships, right? 10 merit-based scholarships. And the scholarship provides £20,000 of funding spread over 3 years. Again, this will be, the 20,000 will go towards paying your tuition fees. It is not cash in hand, right? Now, and the £20,000 will be spread across 3 years. For this scholarship, how can you be eligible for this scholarship? First, you need to be the national of an eligible country, including Indonesia. So if you are Indonesian national, I'm telling you now that you can qualify for the Al-Bukhari Foundation Scholarship. Another eligibility criteria is you need to apply to study at Warwick by the UCAS application deadline. Again, so this is similar to the previous scholarship, where you need to apply to Warwick, to study at Warwick by the UCAS application deadline. Okay. Now, for this scholarship, you also need to apply for the scholarship after you have applied to Warwick. This is not an automatic consideration scholarship, right? So you have to apply for the scholarship. Now, another eligibility criteria is that you must receive an offer in the following subject areas: business, economics, and engineering. Okay. So this scholarship is specifically for students who are studying business degree, or who are studying economics degree, or who are studying engineering degrees, right? And that's all. Whereas the previous scholarship just now, Warwick Undergraduate Global Excellence, you can study any subject and you can still apply for that scholarship. But for Yayasan Al-Bukhari, only 3 topics, three disciplines that will allow you to apply for Yayasan Al-Bukhari Scholarship. Now, scholarship applications will need to demonstrate financial need. This is different from the other one. Warwick Undergraduate is purely merit-based, right? So we just want to judge you according to merit. But for Yayasan Al-Bukhari Scholarship, we want to know about whether or not you have financial need, right? And so that is something that we will consider, your financial situation, when we decide on the scholarship. Okay, more information is available on the website, and I will give you the link later. Okay. Next, master degree scholarships. So I have completed the bachelor degree scholarships. I'm now going to move into master's degree scholarships. Now, first of all, I'm going to speak very quickly about Shivning scholarships. A lot of you may already know about the Shivning scholarships. It is a scholarship given by the UK government. And it is the UK government's global scholarship program. This scholarship is for outstanding scholars with leadership potential, and it's fully funded, right? For this, Shivning scholarship is fully funded. It's for a 1-year taught master's degrees for applicants from a wide range of fields, right? So it can be for a lot of different subjects of study, right? But and it's for a 1-year taught master's degree, because in the UK, master degree is only 1 year. Okay, master's degree is only 1 year in the UK. Now, some of the requirements for the Wmg Scholarship is that you must be an Indonesian citizen and return to Indonesia after your studies for a minimum of 2 years. You need to get an equivalent or second upper honors degree, meet the academic requirements, meet the IELTS score of 6.5, and you need to have 2 years working experience. Okay. Now, why am I talking about Wmg Scholarship? It's because Wmg and Warwick, we actually have a partnership. Okay, Wmg and Warwick, we have a partnership, and one of the and so what happens is that there are some joint scholarships that are available, whereby Wmg provides the funding for part of it, and Warwick Scholarship will provide the funding for part of it. Right now, for Wmg Warwick Scholarship, you actually apply for it in the exact same way as you would apply for the normal Wmg Scholarship, right? So it's exactly the same as the in terms of application process, everything is the same. It's just that if you really want to study at Warwick and you put Warwick as your first choice of study university, right? Warwick is your first choice of university, then we will automatically consider you for the Wmg Warwick Scholarship. Now, the scholarship applications will open in August every year, right? So if you want to go to the UK in September on a Wmg Scholarship, that means this September 2022, that means you have missed the deadline. But if you want to go to university in the UK in 2023 in September, then you need to be aware that the scholarship will open this August. And so you have a lot of time to prepare, right? So you can already start thinking, finding out more about this scholarship, etc. Okay, so just remember, for Wmg Scholarship, the scholarship applications open in August every year, and the scholarship application deadline is November every year, right? So the window for you to send in your application is actually quite small. Every year, the window is from August until November, okay? And that is for, and when you apply, for example, in August or September, it is for the year after that, right? So if you apply in August 2022, it is so that you can do go for the scholarship in 2023. Now, Wmg Wmg Scholarships. This is just to let you know that Wmg is an academic department within University of Warwick, right? So there's the University of Warwick, and one of our academic departments is a department called Wmg. It stands for the Warwick Manufacturing Group. Warwick Manufacturing Group also have their own Wmg Wmg Scholarship, right? And again, you know, the process, everything is the same. It's just that if you love, one of the courses at Wmg and you want to apply for it and you put it as your first choice, you will be considered for the Wmg Wmg Scholarship. Okay. Now, if you're interested to know what are the courses that you can study at Wmg, that's what's being shown on the screen right now, right? So at Wmg, essentially, it is the place that helps you, or rather that helps people to train themselves well to work in industry, right? So that's why we have courses like engineering business management, cybersecurity and management, international technology management, sustainable automotive engineering, right? So, and yet, these are business, a lot of these are business courses. So for example, engineering business management is actually a management course, but helping you to focus on engineering business, right? So these are very special courses at Warwick, and you can consider them if these are some of the topics that you are interested in. I can tell you that for Indonesian students, e-business management is so popular. Another very popular course with Indonesian students is supply chain and logistics management. Okay. Now, yes. So I have now finished talking about the Wmg scholarships, right? So Wmg scholarships are fully funded scholarships. Like I said, Warwick is a partner of the Wmg program. Therefore, if you're thinking of coming to Warwick and you're applying for Wmg scholarship, then, you will definitely be considered for the Wmg Warwick scholarship. Warwick also offers master's degree scholarships to our students using our own funding, right? Sometimes in partnership with a third-party organization, but sometimes just from our own funding. Now, for master's degree, I would like to talk about our LLM scholarship, which is a master's degree in law, right? LLM is a master's degree for law. And we have a scholarship, or rather two scholarships available, where we will pay for your full LLM course, right? Your tuition fees. We will pay the tuition fees for your LLM course, and we will pay the full fee. Okay. So that is something, again, that is quite rare, in terms of full fee scholarships. In terms of eligibility, you must have submitted an application for one of our LLM programs. So basically, go to Warwick Law School, look at all the different law courses available at the master's level, and see if there's anything you're interested in. And then if you're interested in, go and apply. And then, if you apply, then you can be considered for the University of Warwick LLM scholarship. However, please note that there is a deadline, and the deadline is 31st of March 2022, right? If for those who want to enter in this coming September 2022, right? So the deadline is 31st of March. Okay, so that's the LLM full fee scholarship. There is another scholarship, again, with law school, Warwick Law School, for the master level. And this is called the Great Scholarship Indonesia 2022. This Great Scholarship is awarded by Warwick in partnership with the British Council. And for this one, it is a £15,000 scholarship. So it's not full fee, it's £15,000 scholarship. Now, how can you be eligible for this scholarship? Basically, you must be an Indonesian national residing in Indonesia and hold an offer for one of our LLMs. Okay, hold an offer for one of our LLMs. Other conditions apply. This one, the deadline for the scholarship, because you need to apply for the scholarship, right? So the deadline to apply is 1st of June. So there's still a bit of time. So for those of you who want to go to Warwick in this coming September 2022, and you want to study law, you can apply for this scholarship as well, because the deadline is 1st June 2022, right? Now, LLM scholarship, Great Scholarship, these are not automatic consideration. You must apply for the scholarship on top of applying for Warwick, okay? Now, other scholarships that are offered by Warwick include the Wmg Excellence Scholarships. I already told you about Wmg just now, right? When I talked about the Wmg Wmg scholarships. Now, internally, the Wmg is also offering our own scholarships, and these are partial scholarships. The partial scholarships range from 10 up until 50% discount on the tuition fee, right? 10 until 50% discount on tuition fees. And when you apply for the scholarship, you will be assessed and evaluated based on your academic achievement, on your professional experience, on the reasons for studying, for why you want to pursue this course, and your vision for the future, right? How will we judge you? How will we assess your application? Because you will be writing an essay, right? We will ask you to write an essay. And so essay writing for the scholarship application is important. Okay, and so we will judge overall your essay, as well as your academic achievement, your professional experience, everything will be considered. And based on that, we will for those who qualify, we will offer you 10 until 50% of tuition fee discount. Okay, now eligibility. How can you be eligible for this course? First, you need to be self-funded. Okay, so basically, yeah, you're not, for example, an LPDP scholarship, or you're not a Shivning scholarship, right? So that means you're self-funded. You're paying for your studies. But for this Wmg Excellence Scholarship, the difference is that applicants who have partial bursaries or partially funded by an external organization can also be considered. So, for example, your company is only willing to sponsor your living allowance, for example, yeah? If that is the case, you can still apply for Wmg Excellence Scholarship, because then you can combine. You can combine the scholarship from your company with the scholarship for the tuition fee that Wmg is offering. But when I say scholarship from company, that means it's partial scholarship. Yeah, remember, it's you cannot be fully funded. Okay, you cannot be fully funded. You must be you can be partially funded by somebody, and then you can still apply for Wmg Excellence Scholarship. And then in that case, you can combine the two partials. Okay. Another eligibility is, of course, that you must apply for the course and you must hold an offer. So that means you must apply for Warwick first, and then you must get the offer from Warwick. You must have an excellent academic track record and or a strong professional profile. Why do we say and or? The reason is because some people who apply to Wmg, they are fresh graduate from the university. They just finished their Sarjana 1, yeah, S1. They just finished S1. They don't have professional experience, but they got very good GPA, right? And so these people, we can still consider them for the scholarship, even though they didn't have a professional profile, because they are fresh graduate, okay? Now, applying for the scholarship, so you need to apply for the scholarship. This is not automatic consideration. And again, I will provide you more information on the website. The other very popular department at University of Warwick is WBS, or Warwick Business School. And Warwick Business School also offers master degree scholarships, right? And so the award that is given is 10 until 50% of tuition fees for the exceptional candidates, right? For the strong candidates, we can offer scholarship between 10 until 50%. Now, this is a very highly competitive award, and we give it on a rolling basis, right? So for the WBS, it's on a rolling basis because there is no separate application. So for WBS, the scholarship is you are automatically considered for a scholarship when you apply for the WBS master degree, right? So applications are processed on a rolling basis, and scholarships are also processed on a rolling basis, right? And so because it's so competitive, and and because there are limited number of scholarships, it is advisable for you to apply early, okay? Now, how can you be eligible for this Wbs Msc Scholarships? You need to be self-funded, and you need to you should indicate your interest on your personal statement. So there is no separate scholarship application, but when you apply for Warwick and you are writing the personal statement as for your application, do mention that you are interested in the scholarship, right? So that we know that, oh, this person is interested in the scholarship, we will actively consider whether or not to award you the scholarship, okay? And whilst not compulsory, providing details of which scholarship you feel you should be considered for could strengthen your application, right? And again, I will provide you with the web link later so that you can get the details about this Wbs Msc Scholarship. Finally, I would like to say that there are other departmental scholarships available, not just WMG, not just WBS, not just law school. There different departments offer different kinds of scholarships. So based on your passion, what is the subject you want to study, go to the department website and look whether or not they have any scholarships available, right? So some of the other departments you can explore for scholarships include School of Life Sciences and Politics and International Studies, okay? And there'll be more scholarships available. I mean, you can also, go through all the different scholarships available at this web link, which I will post into the chat box later. All right. Oops, sorry. Let me just. I think I accidentally unshared my screen, so let me share my screen again. Okay. So now I would like to talk about PhD scholarships, right? I've completed the segment about master's scholarships. Now I want to focus on PhD. So for PhD scholarships, what are the different scholarships that we have? Now, the first scholarship that we have is the University of Warwick Chancellors International Scholarship. Okay, 2022. Again, I told you that it says here 2022, but these scholarships usually, okay, they usually repeat every, year after year, right? So, even though you missed the deadline for 2022, you can look forward to 2023 and you can still take the advice that I'm giving you today, okay? Now, for 2022, just to let you know, we are awarding 42 scholarships for the most outstanding PhD applicants from any discipline. 42 scholarships. So that was an increase, right? In previous years, there were less, but this year, up to 42 scholarships. Now, there will be full funding provided, including a stipend, right? So not only will Warwick pay for your tuition fees, we will also pay for your living expenses. Now, in terms of eligibility, you can apply for PhD at the University of Warwick to begin in October 2022, or if you have missed it, then just plan for 2023, right? So just plan for 2023. Students who are currently enrolled and in their first year can apply for this scholarship as well. So let's say, you are already at Warwick, you're in the first year of doing a PhD, you didn't have a scholarship, you can apply when you are in your first year of your PhD, right? Applicants must be international students, which you are, right? So because you're Indonesian citizen living in Indonesia, you'll be overseas international fee-paying students. Applicants from any discipline can apply, and scholarships cannot be deferred to the next academic year, right? So if you want the scholarship, you cannot defer. You cannot say, oh, can I come another year, but I still keep the scholarship? No, you can't. This scholarship cannot be deferred. Now, applications open usually in August. So if you are targeting to study in Warwick on a full PhD scholarship in September, you need to already look out for the scholarship application this August, right? Because the course applications close by 13 January every year, okay? The course application closed by 13 January, scholarship application closed by 25th January, right? So you need to plan far ahead, right? And so, so if you're thinking of 2023, please note that usually in August, you should already be starting to look out for all these scholarship applications already. Another scholarship for PhD student, again, a full scholarship, is the Fewer International Scholarships in Artificial Intelligence. This is a full PhD scholarship where we will provide you tuition fee for 4 years, full tuition fee for 4 years, as well as a stipend. Again, we give you a living allowance, right? And the rate is the UKRI rate, which is £15,890 per year, right? So that's the living allowance that you will be provided to you for each year of study. The applications open in the later half, of 2023, it says here 2021 for February 2022. So again, just plan ahead. So later half of the year, look out for the scholarship, whether or not it's open again, and know that the deadline of the scholarship is in February, right? So again, you can see the website and check out the website later in the year for more information. Now, I want to now speak about the economics PhD scholarship. Okay, so for those of you who are interested in economics at PhD, at the University of Warwick, we will, if you qualify for the economics PhD, we will pay for your PhD studies. Again, it's total fee waiver, because we will pay the fees as well as maintenance. Okay, again, we will have a maintenance award to for your cost of living. Okay, now for this scholarship, there is no separate scholarship application, right? Basically, you just need to apply for a place at Warwick MRes PhD. And then when you get a place, there is a very, very, very strong likelihood that we will also offer you the scholarship together, right? So that is for the MRes PhD Economics Scholarship. Now, some of you might say, oh, but I already have a master's degree. Can I skip the MRes? I just want to do the PhD. I don't want to do the MRes. The answer is no. At the University of Warwick, we need, even though you already have a master's degree, we need you to do the MRes. And then after that, if you do well, perform well for your MRes, we will then promote you to the PhD. Okay. But don't worry, for both MRes and the PhD, all that you will be on scholarship. Okay. Now, so this means that for bachelor's degree students out there, those of you who only have S1, but you are very strong in your economics, right? And in the subject of economics, and you want to get an MRes PhD, you can apply for this course, right? If you have S1, you can apply for this course, and we will pay for your MRes, we will pay for your economics PhD. Okay. Another similar program is Warwick Business School PhD in Business and Management. Again, it follows the same pattern in the sense that if you get an offer, if you can get into this course, we will pay for your MRes and PhD, right? Full. That means tuition fees as well as a living allowance, right? As you can see here on the screen, it's a fully funded program. Okay. And in terms of the, again, this is for the 2022 program, but if you are planning ahead, you can imagine that for 2023, you can already start to plan. Okay. Now, the duration for this course is two years for the MRes plus 3 years for the PhD. So total will be 5 years. Okay. But as you can see, international piece will be fully funded. Okay. Another PhD offered by the business school is the MRes. Actually, it's a combined between business school and economics department for this one, which is the MRes PhD Finance and Economics, right? So again, similar pattern, MRes plus PhD, fully funded. Okay. So again, more information will be available on the website. So please remember to check the website for all the full details. I don't have much time, so I cannot go into all the different eligibility criteria. So it's very important, I repeat, it's very important for you to go to the website to look for the full terms and conditions. Okay. So see links in the chat box. I'm going to type in the chat box now, but before I do that, I'm just going to show my contact information. This is just an introduction. And so later on, if you have any further inquiries, you want to know more information, you can please drop me an email, or even you can send me a WhatsApp, right? And then I'll be happy to answer your questions. Okay, so now I am going to stop sharing, and I'm going to share the information I talked about in the chat box, right? So slowly, I will now copy and paste stuff into the chat box. Let me find chat box. Okay, Pak Hendra, if you don't mind, would you be able to help me introduce our Warwick scholars who will then be able to share their experience?
Can we just invite Mas Aditya? Okay. Let me put you on the spotlight, and then the second one. Mas Adit, do you remember who's the name of the other two students?
The other two are Afriana and Greg. So can we have Afriana Siadian and Greg Handrianto?
Can you please turn on the video? Okay, Afriana and Greg. Yeah, got it.
All right, wonderful. So I'm very, very pleased today that, I am supported by our lovely and helpful Indonesian scholars who are now studying at the University of Warwick. They are actually joining you from the UK right now in Warwick, on Warwick campus. Aditya actually is also the president of the Perhimpunan Pelajar Indonesia, PPI Warwick. And so maybe what I will do is we will go in turn. First, we will have Aditya speak. After that, we will have Afriana, and then finally Greg, right? So Aditya and Afriana are both master's students, and Greg is an undergraduate, right? And they will share with you a little bit about their experience with the scholarships. Maybe I can start with you, Aditya. Maybe you can do your sharing.
Hi, Imran. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear. Thanks.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Aditya Nugraha. You can actually call me Aditya. Actually, now I'm doing the postgraduate level in here. I'm taking the business analytics. Actually, it's under Warwick Business School. So actually, I'm just gonna share like a bit of like what are the scholarships that I take, and then something that I want to give you, like I want to share like a lot of like tips about my scholarship. So actually I got the grad scholarship with the Warwick Business School. So it's actually like the combinations of the scholarship from the British Council and also Warwick Business School. So it's actually the sort of like the scholarship for the developing countries, I guess. So each country like must have like one ambassador for these scholarship. And then so I'm also like wanted to share about the the scholarship milestones. So actually I got when I entered the WBS, I did not have any scholarship. So it's basically self-funded. And then when I got the email from the WBS, and then I saw that sort of like an announcement that there would be like scholarship opportunity that I could apply. And then so actually the question is not even like that kind of like complex. It's just like what are your career goals, and what are your the socioeconomic plans for the for after the graduation. So I actually have a plan. So my interest is all about the small, medium enterprises. So I actually like dedicate myself after graduation. So I want to join the Ministry of the Cooperatives and also small, medium enterprises. And then I want to have like sort of like campaign there. So this kind of like campaign will help the small, medium enterprises from Indonesia to have like sort of like campaign exposure. So they will have a sort of like the business informations there. So it's because that they are not having that kind of like business information. It's because that they're still like small, medium size. So we will have like this kind of like platform for them, like to share like any kind of like the business insight from them. And then I think probably that's the thing. And then I think what makes me like really distinctive between the other, like among the other applicants, is because that I have like the passion in growing Indonesia from the part of the entrepreneurship mindset thingy, and also that I'm doing this kind of like major or modules is for the social goods. So I'm doing a sort of like data science for social goods thingy. So it's more on the humanity part, not really like into the business minded part. So for the tips for the scholarship applicants, I'm going to just like run through everything. So for my scholarship I think for me, the definitions of failures is not about that you're having like a very low marks thingy. It's about like trying something new. I mean, like for me, the course that I have here is quite challenging, but something that I have here is that if you have like the passion, you know, your true passion, you will do like this kind of like challenging with the more, you know, grateful way. So it's something that if you like gain a lot of like knowledge in here in a shorter time, I think that's the thing that should be grateful, and then be honest with your process. I think that's the most important thing. So when you write your personal statement, be honest with your process, be honest with your experience and everything. So it's gonna be like easier for you to just like to write everything up. And then for me, like, why am I choosing to study in Warwick? So basically, the one thing that I saw is the rank from the course is that itself. So I'm trying like to see like the course rank for the business analytics is kind of like top 10 in the world, and also that for the business school itself is quite very popular business school. Is actually, like, if I'm not mistaken, is like top 30 or top 20 business schools in the world. And also I'm looking at the Warwick in general. Warwick as an overall is also like a very competitive universities as well. So that's the way I'm choosing like to study at Warwick. I think probably that's all from me, I think.
Okay, thank you very much, Aditya. That's really helpful. Next, I'd like to ask Afriana to share with us a little bit about, you know, what's your scholarship, how did you get it, and your experience basically.
Okay, thank you, Imran.
Yeah, by the way, sorry, I just wanted to tell all the volunteers, all my Warwick volunteers, it's up to you. If you want to speak in English, that's fine. But if you want to speak in Bahasa Indonesia, I'm sure the audience is also happy to listen to you speak in Bahasa Indonesia,
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, up to you. Thank you.
Okay, that is fine because some of the attendees here are Indonesian, so maybe I'll be speaking in Bahasa.
Okay.
So, seperti yang udah tadi disampaikan oleh Pak Imran, jadi nama saya Afriana Syagian, saya salah satu awardee from LPDP last year, 2021. Jadi waktu itu ada tahap 1. Jadi LPDP itu mungkin semua teman-teman di sini udah pada tahu ya LPDP itu apa. Jadi itu fully funding dari Kementerian Keuangan. Jadi benar-benar sangat legit. Jadi memang sangat worth it untuk dikejar begitu. Jadi waktu itu saya dapat awardnya itu untuk tahun 2021. Untuk sekedar info juga untuk teman-teman di sini, kebetulan banget nih LPDP itu sekarang lagi buka 2 hari lagi gitu. Jadi nanti mungkin teman-teman bisa pada follow Instagram page-nya di Instagram. Di situ ada webinarnya juga 2 hari ke depan. Itu nanti akan dipandu sama tim LPDP untuk pembukaannya, launchingnya gitu. Jadi tahun 2022 itu ada 2 tahap 1 sama tahap 2. Jadi tahap pertama itu akan open di 25 Februari, baru nanti tahap kedua itu di Juli gitu. Jadi kira-kira rentang proses seleksinya itu selama 6 bulan gitu. Jadi untuk tahap aplikasi LPDP itu sebenarnya standar. Jadi cuman ada 3 steps. Yang pertama itu ada screening administrasi, terus tahap yang kedua itu ada seleksi substansi, psikotes. Lalu nanti tahap ketiga itu substansi. Jadi substansinya itu ada 2, interview dan juga ada tes kebangsaan gitu, tes tes tentang pengetahuan tentang kewarganegaraan. Lalu mungkin untuk tips dan triknya, kalau saya sih persiapan sih yang paling penting. Jadi sebenarnya untuk rentang dari kita submit aplikasi sampai keterimanya itu hanya rentang waktunya itu cuman beberapa bulan gitu, 4-6 bulan. Jadi memang sangat sangat pendek lah dibandingkan mungkin dengan beasiswa lain seperti Chevening begitu. Jadi tips dari saya itu sebenarnya diperkuatnya itu di personal statement, karena ketika kamu lulus, terus juga lulus administrasi, lalu nanti akan ke tahap interview, itu yang akan banyak digali oleh interviewernya itu adalah your personal statement. Jadi memang harus kuat gitu, harus harus kuat antara masa lalu kita, masa sekarang, apa yang kita kerjakan, maksudnya sama masa depan kita, apa yang mau kita capai, karir apa yang mau kita yang mau kita explore, dan kontribusi apa nanti yang ke Indonesia yang bakal kita lakuin sesuai dengan keilmuan kita gitu. Jadi memang harus align antara masa lalu kita, masa sekarang sama masa depan. Itu untuk tips untuk personal statement-nya. Untuk dokumen-dokumennya sebenarnya standar.
Sorry, Afriana, you're breaking up a little bit. Just a little bit. You're coming in now. Okay, no, good now.
Oke. Jadi untuk tips dari aplikasinya itu sebenarnya perkuat. Yang pertama tadi saya bilang itu perkuat di personal statement. Personal statement itu harus benar-benar align antara masa lalu kita, apa yang sudah kita kerjakan atau jurusan kita atau apa organisasi yang sudah pernah kita ambil dengan masa sekarang, dan juga for our future aspiration gitu. Jadi harus align gitu. Lalu tips untuk wawancaranya, sebenarnya wawancara itu nantinya akan align dengan personal statement gitu. Jadi apa yang kita tulis di personal statement itu harus benar-benar real, harus benar-benar ada proof-nya, dan juga nanti ketahuan sih di wawancara mereka pasti akan tanya lebih detail tentang program-program yang udah kita lakuin, tentang volunteer yang udah kita ikutin gitu. Lalu kenapa seperti yang sudah saya sampaikan tadi, saya ikut master di sini di Wmg. Mungkin tadi sudah dipresentasikan oleh Pak Imran sekilas tentang Wmg. Jadi sebenarnya Wmg itu salah satu departemen di sini, kayak college-nya gitu di Warwick. Jadi Wmg itu stands for Warwick Manufacturing Group. Jadi di Warwick Manufacturing Group itu ada 15 program, master program gitu. Jadi kenapa kalau ditanya alasan why Warwick, sebenarnya itu pertama dulu ya, why the UK gitu. Kenapa the UK itu karena duration-nya sih. Karena nggak seperti kayak US atau mungkin negara Eropa lainnya yang master itu it takes 2 years. Ya rata-rata sih 2 tahun sih gitu. Kalau misal di UK itu kita benar-benar kayak compact 1 tahun, dan itu sangat align dengan ya lagi-lagi kayak future aspiration gitu. Lalu kenapa Warwick? Selain karena ranking dan juga karena join dalam Russell Group ya, yang semua orang udah tahu. Tapi juga karena jadi background saya itu di supply chain and logistic management. Jadi saya sebelumnya itu sudah bekerja selama 5 tahun di sektor itu, di industri FMCG sama oil chemical. Dan saya ingin dig deeper gitu keilmuan saya ini, karena nanti kedepannya harus align. Aku butuh ilmu ini untuk bisa mewujudkan long term goal gitu. Jadi di UK itu hanya ada 3 university yang kayak punya program yang spesifik untuk supply chain and logistic. Ada salah satunya itu Warwick. Dan setelah saya lihat course structure, ranking, dan juga kayak link ke global companies, maka saya firm banget waktu itu untuk pilih Warwick ini gitu. Jadi memang waktu itu saya sudah dapat LOA dari 2018. Jadi saya nunggu nih, waktu itu LPDP belum masuk list nih Warwick. Jadi teman-teman beruntung Warwick itu sudah masuk di dalam list LPDP. Nah 2 tahun lalu itu nggak ada, jadi saya benar-benar kayak saya dapat LOA-nya, tapi saya nggak tahu nih dapat funding dari mana gitu. Waktu itu hanya ada Sivening pilihannya gitu. Kalau sekarang kan, kalau mungkin teman-teman udah dapat LOA dari Warwick, channel logistic management. Nah, kalau untuk experience-nya sejauh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Is that okay now? Can you hear me? ini bulan kelima saya sudah di sini. Jadi sebenarnya karena ada trade-off-nya gitu ketika master programnya itu selama setahun. Jadinya kan compact banget dan sangat sangat tight gitu. Jadi salah satu trade-off-nya itu per sekarang ini sudah mulai nulis skripsi gitu jadinya. Karena kan kayak baru nyampe tapi udah kayak langsung harus ngejar skripsi gitu. Jadi dissertation. Nah, jadi salah satu trade-off-nya itu, tapi so far pengalamannya itu sangat sangat worth it gitu. Jadi sebenarnya selain kegiatan kampus, saya juga ikut kayak beberapa community kayak Warwick Christian Community dan juga Warwick Consulting Community. Jadi kayak benar-benar banyak ketemu teman baru, banyak teman dapat insight baru dan juga di sini tuh student unionnya itu niat-niat gitu, kayak benar-benar kayak real practice gitu. Misal mereka event-eventnya itu ada banyak, jadi benar-benar engagementnya itu untuk mahasiswa-mahasiswa dapat banget gitu. Jadi walaupun kita kayak dari Asian, terus kita harus mingle sama mereka-mereka, itu sangat memungkinkan dengan adanya wadah-wadah event-event yang mereka adain gitu. Jadi so far saya merasa sangat worth it untuk dikejar untuk sekolah di sini. Jadi untuk teman-teman semuanya yang punya rencana untuk apply Warwick, good luck, tetap semangat dan juga tetap berjuang sih. Itu aja sih mungkin. So that's all, Imran.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Afriana. That was very detailed and it gives a good idea of what your experience has been. Next, can we have Greg to share your experience? Now, Greg is unlike the other two Warwick students, Greg is an undergraduate student. So, Greg, can you just share a little bit about your own scholarship experience?
Yeah, sure. So thanks, Imran. As he said, my name's Greg. I received the Wbs Scholarship. So that's the one from Warwick. I received the 13,000 a year scholarship. So that's for 3 years. I'm studying management, also at Wbs. So I applied for the scholarship because I believe Warwick sent an email for people who've got an offer to apply for the scholarship as well, so it's not automatic. And some tips that I have a lot actually. And if you're considering to apply, you're already one step ahead of a lot of people, because I know a lot of brilliant people that didn't apply for a scholarship because in their head they already think, why would they pick me? Maybe their grades aren't the best of the best. But I'm here to tell you that you should just apply. And if you do apply, you're already one step ahead of a lot of people. I think that because it's a global excellence scholarship for international students, you should elaborate a lot on like international mindedness, international experiences, and why you want to study in the UK instead of in Indonesia, and how you're this sort of global person. And how you're open-minded. And another thing is that you should have some sort of a rationale of studying. For example, I'm studying management. Are you just like a management student that took that course because you don't know what else to study? Or are you a management student because you have a drive to do something? And perhaps like you can mention a problem. I think in my case, I was interested in like how to be sustainable in business. And I believe that having that sort of rationale, that sort of drive on why you want to study that subject will really help demonstrate to the scholarships team that you're not like a run-of-the-mill student and that you're special, basically. And why did I choose to study at Warwick? I believe that I think the main thing is that Warwick is ranked really highly. And this is despite the fact that Warwick is a relatively young university. It's only been around since the 1960s, I believe. And I think it's already 6th in the UK. Correct me if I'm wrong. And a lot of the universities that are above it or below it are much older than Warwick. So with this like rapid improvement, I believe that having a degree from Warwick will become more valuable as time goes on, hopefully. And keeping up with that trend, Warwick also has a lot of new things all the time. Even like since I've been here, there's already a new faculty of arts building, and that's really nice. Go look it up on Google. And I believe the Oculus building's only a few years old. The Sports and Wellness Hub's only a few years old as well. So there's always this sense of excitement. There's always something to look forward to. And you can sense that it's a developing university and it's going to get better as time goes on. And my experience has been quite great. People are really welcoming here. I've never really had a bad experience. I'm part of 2 societies, PP Warwick being one under Adit. I'm the student onboarding coordinator, so I'm looking forward to welcoming you guys if you do come. And I'm also part of Warwick ASEAN Conference, which is happening this Saturday. So yes.
Exciting. So the Warwick ASEAN Conference, you guys are inviting some of the ambassadors, right?
Yes, so the Indonesian ambassador to the UK will be coming to Warwick.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I see that the chat box, there are so many questions coming in. Jadi Pak Hendra, would you like to moderate the Q&A session? And myself, as well as the students from Warwick, we will be happy to try and answer as much as we can.
Oke. Pertanyaan pertama saya langsung tanyakan dulu sama Mbak Afriana nih. Ini relevan dengan LPDP. Saya tidak berani menjawab karena saya tidak berkompeten dan saya bukan orang LPDP. Jadi banyak yang bertanya apakah LPDP itu harus dinyatakan sudah diterima dulu dari uninya, mendapatkan penerimaan, atau banyak yang mengatakan bahwa yang belum punya penerimaan bisa memilih 3 universitas tujuan terlebih dahulu. Nah, waktu Mbak Afriani gimana?
Terima kasih Pak Hendra. Sebenarnya regulasi LPDP itu suka berubah-ubah, jadi memang harus teliti di websitenya ya. Cuman ketika tahun saya itu diperbolehkan. Jadi mereka itu kasih durasi waktu untuk mendapatkan universitas itu selama 18 bulan. Jadi once kamu kayak pilih 3 university, ada 3 list gitu, ranking 1, ranking 2, prioritas 1, prioritas 2, prioritas 3, terus nanti kamu lolos seleksi, administrasi lolos seleksi semuanya, kamu udah keterima nih gitu. Nah, kamu itu punya waktu selama 18 bulan untuk bisa mendapatkan LOA unconditional gitu. Jadi kamu punya kebebasan lah untuk milih antara 1, 2, 3. Tapi yang diprioritaskan itu harus tetap nomor 1. Kalau gagal nomor 1, kedua. Kalau gagal nomor 2, ketiga gitu. Nah, yang tidak diperbolehkan di waktu tahun 2020 itu adalah untuk ganti universitas. Jadi karena kan sebenarnya ada solid reason gitu kenapa kita memilih jurusan ini dan universitas ini gitu. Jadi once itu diganti, itu nego ke LPDP-nya itu lumayan susah. Bukan lumayan susah sih, mungkin kemungkinan besar tidak akan di-approve gitu. Jadi apa yang kita pilih itu harus stick ke situ gitu. Nah, untuk tahun 2022 ini saya belum mendapatkan informasinya, jadi nanti mungkin teman-teman bisa ikut webinar launchingnya yang mana itu akan diadain 2 hari ke depan, jadi stay tune aja di Instagramnya LPDP, mungkin nanti akan ada sesi Q&A, mungkin nanti bisa akan lebih jelas di sananya gitu. Jadi mungkin itu sih Pak Hendra.
Oke, saya rasa pesan yang paling penting yang tadi sudah disinggung oleh Mbak Afriana adalah namanya beasiswa ini yang sangat layak untuk diperjuangkan. Ditolak, daftar lagi, ditolak, daftar lagi, ditolak, daftar lagi. Jangan pernah menyerah. Kalau kita sudah sekali batal, tahun depannya jangan males, silahkan dicoba lagi. Tadi kalau saya mendengarkan sangat-sangat worth untuk dinikmati ya, dalam tanda kutip dinikmati adalah untuk sekolah dan untuk tinggal di Inggris selama 1 tahun. Mas Adit sebagai Ketua PPI, ada salam dari Mbak Dian di IBEC.
Halo Mbak Dian.
Ini ada satu pertanyaan. Selain keseharian kuliah di Warwick, ngapain aja Mas Adit? Nonton bola nggak?
Oke, aku coba jawab ya sedikit Pak. Sebenarnya buat di Wbs ini tuh quite intense sebenarnya buat dari segi programnya. Nah, aku mau coba trace back juga dari my undergraduate juga background gitu. My undergraduate background itu tuh dari accounting and finance. Nah, sekarang postgraduate aku ambil business analytics. I mean it's quite far gitu loh sebenarnya. Well, in terms of quantitative skill itu memang benar-benar sebenarnya masih still relevant, tapi memang kalau dari bidang keilmuan memang cukup jauh gitu. Nah, itu dikarenakan kita punya this kind of program, 1 year program ini memang very intense gitu. Jadi menurut aku be picky with community atau enggak society yang kita mau join, because kalau for postgrad we're no longer kayak undergraduate kan, maksudnya masih still have a lot of time to explore another thing. But for me actually as the postgraduate kita cuma punya 1 tahun, and then we need to maximize juga the effort yang kita memang lakukan dalam waktu 1 tahun ini. Jadi paling yang saya lakukan adalah untuk dari segi society saya join buat PPI ini kan as a president. Jadi sekarang sebenarnya kurang lebih kayak Bapak RT-nya sekarang di sini. Jadi sekarang lebih nge-regulate, make sure kayak semua orang bisa happy di sini, terus kayak bring hometown feelings closer lah gitu. Sebenarnya kayak kurang lebih tidak ada yang perasaan-perasaan yang kayak memang ternyata kayak aduh kangen pulang dan lain-lain, jadi supaya lebih terobati aja. Sebenarnya itu aja sih yang fokusnya kalau sekarang sih untuk dari segi society dan community juga gitu, Pak Hendra.
Oke, terus kalau kegiatan non-kampus yang sudah dilakukan, ngapain?
Oke, kegiatan non-kampus ya. Sebenarnya aku nggak punya specifically, nggak ada kayak kegiatan apapun sih untuk kayak di luar kampus, karena biasanya memang diisi dengan kalau nggak group work, terus juga ke library dan lain-lain. Karena sebenarnya pas kemarin kayaknya term 1 buat aku sebenarnya memang quite challenging juga in terms of bukan dari segi pelajarannya, tapi di sini tuh lebih dari dulu mungkin waktu di Indo kita bisa getting kayak 80 or 90 is quite easy lah. Maksudnya easy means artinya dengan aplikasikan apapun yang kita pelajarin dari kelas itu, maksudnya it's quite easy to akhirnya to do the exam dan lain-lain. Tapi di sini ternyata memang it's very challenging. Jadi challenging di sini ada karena mereka punya kayak certain standard yang berbeda gitu, karena di sini distinction atau enggak memang A itu tuh dapetnya 70 itu udah distinction, tapi to get 70 itu kita harus benar-benar extraordinary banget gitu. Jadi it takes a lot of things, it takes a lot of effort juga. Jadi memang sekarang di term 2 ini memang I'm focusing on kayak having more kayak productive juga. Kalau misalnya memang kayak ada waktu kosong, kalau bisa dipakai buat kayak nge-recap kayak all the materials that were taught in the class atau nggak seminar dan lain-lain. Jadi lebih fokus ke situ sih kalau aku memang di luar dari persekolahan ini gitu Pak Hendra. Untuk nonton bola aku kurang nonton bola kebetulan. Jadi di tempat-tempat yang lain lah aku spendnya waktunya gitu.
Ya, oke.
Pak Hendra, sorry, Pak Hendra. Do you have something to say about Aditya? Because there's a question I saw in the chat box that I would like to answer.
Yeah, soon after this, I'm about to end.
Right.
Go ahead, Pak.
Okay, thanks. No, because I saw a question about deposit. Yeah, if you are on scholarship and then you need to pay a deposit, can you delay the deposit? The answer is it depends on university to university. Some universities will allow you to you can request. Some universities will say, okay, we will wait for you to get your scholarship, and we will hold the place for you. Some universities may not, but I think it doesn't hurt to request for a delay in the deposit payment if you are really on scholarship, and then see what the university replies.
Yeah, the highlight is on scholarship.
Yes.
If we don't have the scholarship yet, then the options is...
No, that means you have already applied. So, for example, if you applied for a scholarship, let's say shifting, and then your shifting interview is not over yet. You're waiting to go for the interview, but then the university is already asking you for the deposit. Then in that case, what you can say is, I am waiting to do the shifting interview. Can I wait for the results and then I pay for the deposit? Some universities will actually be quite flexible and say, okay, we will wait for the result of the scholarship.
Okay, in this case about Warwick, Pak, will Warwick wave?
Yes, yes. So for the case of Warwick, we do some departments. Yeah. So I cannot speak for the different departments, but very often we are understanding and we say, okay, we will wait for you to get the scholarship result, and then once we get the scholarship result, you can defer the payment of the deposit.
Okay, but no guarantee, ya. Yeah, Pak,
Yeah,
depending on the faculties. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Mbak Fenida, assess as overseas. Pasportnya apa? Kalau pasportnya Indonesia, berarti kita sebagai international student. Jadi kita bayarnya overseas. Tapi kalau tinggalnya di luar, pasportnya tetap ini. Misalkan sekarang kita tinggal di Australia atau tinggal di Amerika, tapi pasport kita Indonesia, ya kita international student. Kemudian Greg, boleh diulang tadi scholarship yang Greg dapatkan apa?
So it's Warwick Undergraduate Global Excellence Scholarship.
Global Excellence yang tadi I think mentioned by Pak Imran before, ya?
Yes.
Okay. Pak Imran, would you answer the question from JC2? Who is this?
Okay.
Jesse, I believe GS. What is mengenai apa yang dicari oleh Warwick University dari seorang murid? Okay.
Right. Okay, I can answer that.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so basically, if you are applying for the Warwick Undergraduate Global Excellence Scholarship, what happens is that we will ask you to write an essay. During Greg's time, I think he had to answer a few different questions. Yeah, Greg. But so for his time he had to answer a few different questions. But we changed it, and this year there's only one question you need to answer, and the answer that you write for this scholarship application is very important and will be a big part of your assessment for the scholarship, right? So your question is mengenai apa yang dicari oleh Warwick University. Menurut Warwick, apa yang benar-benar membuat seorang excellent. So basically, if you write an excellent essay, you will be considered an excellent student. Yeah, so we will a lot depends on your essay. Of course, we will also look at your grades as well, but the essay is also very important. So write a great essay, write an excellent essay, and that will definitely boost your chances for the scholarship. I hope that helps, even though it's a little bit vague still.
Okay,
if
Greg,
I may add,
yeah, Greg.
Yeah, if I may add, one tip I left behind is that just when you're done with your essay, give anyone who would read it to read it, because I think it will help proofread your essay, and they can point out if they don't get something within your essay. Maybe you could rewrite that and make it more clear so that the scholarships team would have an easier time reading it as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Greg. Mbak Afriana, sebulan biaya hidup berapa, Mbak? Saya nggak tanya ke Greg sama ke Mas Adit dulu deh. Yang cowok takutnya ntar lebih ngirit apa malah lebih mahal.
Kalau living allowance itu kan ada banyak komponennya gitu. Tapi komponen yang paling besar itu adalah dari akomodasi gitu. Jadi akomodasi harus pinter-pinter nyari akomodasi yang yang budget friendly gitu. Jadi karena kan LPDP itu cuman ngasih sekitar 1.050 per bulan. Nah, kita harus benar-benar bisa gimana caranya untuk dapat di bawah 50% gitu. Jadi rata-rata sih dari teman-teman saya juga itu kira-kira 50% itu untuk akomodasi gitu. Jadi 50% lagi mungkin bisa dikira-kira itu mesti ini tuh sisa segitu untuk bisa kita gunain untuk groceries, untuk traveling, transportation, dan semuanya gitu. Jadi kalau misal kita masak sendiri sih akan bisa, tapi cukup lah ya. Maksudnya jangan expect too much karena memang GDP kan strong ya. Jadi memang harus compare dibandingin negara-negara lain akan lebih lebih kompetitif harganya gitu ya. Jadi cukup sih akan cukup, tapi lagi-lagi harus pinter-pinter kita untuk ngelola yang 50% tadi itu untuk berapa persen ke traveling, berapa persen ke groceries gitu. Kalau kita masak sendiri itu akan bisa manageable lah gitu. Kira-kira gitu Pak Hendra.
Terima kasih. Mas Adit, how much do you spend a month?
Yeah, it's a tricky question. For me, I mean, it depends to the personals kan. It's a very personal preference sebenarnya menurut aku. Cuman if you have like kayak 1,000 budgets misalnya, memang benar kata Afriana, kita memang harus cut half-nya biasanya buat accommodations. Tapi accommodations juga beda-beda. Kayak mereka punya variety of prices juga sebenarnya. Tapi for me, sebenarnya malah I spend quite a lot di accommodations karena aku pengennya yang benar-benar kayak find the accommodations yang benar-benar very convenient juga gitu. Memang sebenarnya convenient di sini artinya apa? Apakah jadinya kayak memang satu accommodations ini aku nggak harus sharing kayak kamar mandi ataupun sharing kitchen juga gitu. Jadi is a studio space juga di situ. Jadi memang sebenarnya itu it's a sort of investment juga sih for me. Jadi maksudnya jadi kalau misalnya mau masak mau apapun akan jadi lebih gampang. Tapi benar untuk sisanya dari kalau memang kita udah cut half dari budget kita misalnya 1.000 itu sisanya memang benar kalau misalnya kita terus makan di luar, menurut aku pribadi itu memang gak bakal cukup juga karena memang di sini agak quite expensive juga gitu. Jadi memang sebenarnya kalau misalnya bisa mungkin ya the ideal way to structure atau enggak to allocate the budget itu sebenarnya mungkin 2 kali makan di rumah atau nggak masak, 1 kali bisa lah jajan-jajan di luar gitu. Tapi jangan 3 kali kita makan di luar semua ya mungkin akan cepat habis gitu.
Okay, Greg, just give me an answer, yes or no. £1,000 for 1 month, is that enough?
For me, no.
Okay, fine. But basically 1,000 is more than enough as long as you can manage the budget. Yeah. Okay. Next question, Mbak Hasni. MRes or PhD in ELT, English Language Teaching or Applied Linguistics. Can you please keep in touch with me and Pak Imran? I will let Mbak Anggi from IBEC to send my email and Pak Imran's email. Please email that to me so that we can send you the detailed information. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Pak Imran, this is for you. Eligibility for prospective students who have GPA below than 3.3 to apply to Warwick. Any chances to be admitted?
Yes, but depends on the course that you are applying for, right? So there are some courses which are super popular where, we know that, there's really very little chance. But then there are some courses where actually they do take into consideration your professional experience, right? They take that into account. So my suggestion is to contact either IBEC team or myself for a more detailed counseling session so that we can have a better idea and we can advise you properly.
Oke, kita akan bantu untuk assess, nantinya kita akan lihat dulu IPK, kemudian pengalaman sebelumnya, dan all the details. So please keep in touch with me. Betul, untuk beasiswa ini pertanyaan dari Mbak Natsir, untuk yang MRes PhD, maka akan mengulang master, tapi master yang diulang adalah MRes. MRes itu adalah kepanjangan dari Master by Research. Artinya S2-nya nanti dilakukan secara penelitian, bukan thought course lagi. Ya. Halo, Mr. Imran, my name is Dewi, employee of the Central Bank. Warwick Business School web said that if we get the offer, we should pay the tuition fee within 1 month. Is it negotiable or strict? No, I don't think that is the case. If you have been offered a place, they require you to pay for 1 month of tuition fee.
No, you're right, Pak Hendra. That is not the case. That is not the case.
That's not Warwick, Mbak. Definitely, I can guarantee you, Warwick never asked for tuition fee on the first stage. all UK university only require you to pay for the tuition fee once you have arrived in the UK. Yeah. Mbak Yasmin, graduate from social sciences, wanted to apply for innovation and entrepreneurship or supply chain management. Is that possible, Pak Imran?
Yes, it's possible. But I mean, for example, we will want to read your personal statement. So you must give a good personal statement to explain why you are moving from social science into supply chain, for example, right? So if you write a good personal to explain, it is possible.
Okay. Master in UK is only 1 year. Internship or project, is it possible? Yes. There are several programs that combine master plus internship. Tapi kalau if you're being sponsored by LPDP or Chevening, you have to go back straight away to Indonesia. If you're not being sponsored, if you are self-funded students, then you can enjoy the post-study work visa. Mas Adit, speaking of post-study work, are you thinking of applying one after you finish your study?
I'm still not sure about the plan, but if I can add for the internship opportunity, if you are applying for the WBS program, actually we have the external dissertation, so it's sort of like a internship with the dissertation as well. So WBS is kind of like open for that kind of opportunity. So within your study period, you still have the internship experience, plus you need to work on the dissertations for that company as well. So I think it's going to be useful if you are looking for the internship, just go apply for the WBS program, I think. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Can you give English courses recommendation? Plenty, Mas Teguh. You can browse around if you're in Jakarta. Okay, next question. How long we wait for LOA? I plan to apply for e-business. Respond from Warwick. How long do we get the letter of offer, Pak Imran, once we have applied?
Okay, after you have applied, you can expect a response from Warwick between 6 to 8 weeks. So that means 6 to 8 weeks, we hope to give you an answer.
Okay, 6 to 8 weeks, yeah?
Yes, from the submission, yes.
Okay, Mbak Mira, the last question, Pak. For PhD application, should we approach the professor in advance before sending the application form to admission office?
Okay, for PhD at the University of Warwick, it's very complicated because every department does things differently, right? So if you're a bit lost, you're not too sure what to do, please approach me, and then I will help you for each, for the department that you're interested in. Yeah, okay. So I cannot give you a blanket answer. You have to tell me what is the department, and then I'll tell you what is the process for that department.
Okay, Mbak Anggi, can you please type my email and Pak Imran in one message? Yeah, for PhD, please email me and Pak Imran. We will assist you because PhD is very different with master degree. Yeah. Pak Imran, what's this? Creative writing subject in Warwick, is it quite popular? Like how many students do you have?
Creative writing subject, yes. I mean, well, it is a very good program. For example, there's a Warwick Writers Award, Warwick Writing Award. In terms of size, I mean, it's not a very big cohort. Like, for example, finance or business analytics is definitely much smaller. But I can tell you that the Warwick Creative program is very prestigious.
Right. Again, questions for all students, Mbak Afri, Mas Adit, dan Greg. Did you arrive before the dorm was open? Any of you? Or did you arrive when the dorm has been open?
So actually, like, I'm not like most undergraduates, because most undergraduates will stay on campus at first, but I'm staying off campus. I arrived way before the the welcome week, but I was able to contact the building developer and ask them for like an early arrival, and they gave it to me.
Okay, Mas Adit, is it the same case with you?
For me, I'm living off campus as well, so I do not have any knowledge for the on-campus situations during the arrival. But for me, I came after their open time, the open period. So yeah, so it's quite easy for me to just get in.
Okay, Mbak Afriana.
Case-nya sama dengan Aditya sih. Jadi aku tinggal di off campus, jadi cuman negosiasi ke landlordnya aja.
Okay. Can I just answer for on campus, since all of them are off campus? So for on campus, you can arrive during welcome week. So if you come during welcome week, that is when we will give you your keys. If you come too early, way before welcome week, you will need to find your own accommodation until welcome week. Then we can give you your keys.
Oke, jadi nyampainya jangan terlalu awal ya, saran saya. Sampainya cukup pada saat welcome week mau dimulai, berapa hari sebelumnya udah tiba. Jangan 2 bulan sebelum welcome week sudah sampai di Inggris. Nah, kalau itu nanti mau nggak mau harus tinggal di hotel, jalan-jalan dulu. Setelah akomodasinya bisa masuk, kemudian 44 minggu habis, biasanya akan rent private accommodation di luar kampus. Itu yang dilakukan oleh setiap mahasiswa yang ada. Is it possible to get LOA unconditional in 2 or 3 weeks? No. Warwick is very busy now. Pak Imran, would you agree?
Sorry, get offer before 3 weeks.
Is it possible to get LOA unconditional in 2 or 3 weeks? I said no, because Warwick is very busy.
Yeah. So yeah, but if there's some urgent case and there's some reason, I mean, you can let IBEC know, and then IBEC will decide how to help you. Yeah.
No guarantee, but Mbak Amel, if you can get in touch with me, I'll find out if we can do it. Pernah sih saya dapat LOA 1 minggu pernah, tapi memang nggak bisa dijamin ya. Jadi please email me. Oke,
Mas, kalau saya boleh add, in my case, I got it after like 3 months. Jadi be prepared for the worst case as well.
Oke. Nah, itu dia tuh. Ada yang sampai 3 bulan malah. Hello, Mr. Imran. My name is Adnan. I have master degree. Can I possible to get scholarship? Yes, you can. If you scroll up, all the information about scholarships has been written down, ya. Boleh bawa keluarga, boleh. Fasilitas dari pribadi atau pendonor atau badan yang membiayai. Jadi keluarga boleh dibawa, tapi kampus tidak membiayai. Pada dasarnya universitas tidak menghalangi untuk membawa keluarga. Mohon maaf, Mas Adit, Mbak Afri, apakah sudah berkeluarga atau belum?
Belum, Pak.
Belum, Pak, belum.
Oke.
So,
Yes.
Sorry, can I just say something about families? So for Warwick, actually, we do have some family accommodation available on campus. Yeah. So of course, if you go and find off-campus accommodation, you can find all the different accommodation. That's fine. Tapi on campus juga ada accommodation for family, but it is limited. Jadi terbatas. Jadi kalau kamu pikir kamu mau bawa keluarga and you want on-campus accommodation, please apply early and let us know early. Jadi kita bisa prepare. Terima kasih.
Okay. Is there any distance learning subject in Warwick, Pak?
Only the online MBA. We have an online distance learning MBA that is the #1 in the world. But that is the only distance learning that we do.
Okay. Sorry. For PhD, apakah ada info list open scholarship dari profesornya? Tidak. List scholarship disediakan oleh kampus, bukan profesornya. Nanti saya coba. Pak Imran, would you mind posting it again, the PhD scholarships?
Sorry, which link? Which link are you asking for?
The scholarship for PhD.
Oh, scholarship for PhD. Okay, there are quite a few. Let me give you the general link then, the general scholarship link.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. And Chancellors International. Okay, Ken. Okay, it's now in the chat box.
Okay, now this is the most, I got a lot of questions about it. How do I get LOA? LOA itu adalah surat penerimaan dari universitas. Kita, prosesnya adalah kita mendaftar, kayak kita mau mendaftar ke mana-mana, ke universitas di Indonesia, ke LPDP, pekerjaan, kita daftar, kita dikabarin, dapat penerimaannya. Jadi LOA itu bukan sesuatu yang mungkin kalau ada yang berpikir, oh kita tinggal ngambil aja, kita dapat LOA langsung. Tidak. Jadi mendaftar prosesnya dengan disertai dokumen-dokumen pendukung. Untuk S2 apa saja, untuk S3 apa saja, kita sudah publish di Instagramnya IBEC, dokumennya apa saja. Kalau ingin panduan lebih detail, boleh email ke saya, tadi sudah sudah di-post email saya, juga boleh ikut di grup Telegramnya IBEC. Di situ banyak yang bertanya mengenai proses LOA bagaimana, atau kalau ragu-ragu bisa japri saya di Telegram juga, di situ saya ada prosesnya seperti apa. Jadi kita daftar sekarang, tunggu waktu 3-6 minggu atau bahkan sampai 3 bulan untuk mendapatkan LOA-nya. Ya, prosesnya kurang lebih simpelnya seperti itu. Is there any scholarship for MBA distance learning? Don't think so ya, Pak. No. Okay. What is the limit, the age limit for PhD scholarship, Pak Imran?
Yeah, so actually there's no age limit. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to pursue a PhD, submit your application, and your age is not something that we take into consideration whether or not to admit you into the university, it doesn't come into consideration for scholarships also.
Okay. Untuk Mbak Satya, again for PhD, please keep in touch with me and Pak Imran by email, karena PhD ini prosesnya berbeda dengan master. Mbak Anggi, tolong di-post lagi email saya dengan emailnya Pak Imran ya. Mbak Satya atau Mas Satya nih? Mbak Satya kayaknya. Tolong ya, nanti bisa email supaya saya bisa saya bisa kirimkan informasinya PhD itu bagaimana, untuk di Warwick, dokumen apa saja. Telegram grupnya juga bisa lihat di bawah ini, sudah di-post. Okay, I think we have answered all the question, Pak Imran. Do you have anything else?
No, nothing else. I think it's been a very interactive session, lots of questions. So thank you very much, everybody, for your interest. And thank you to IBEC for organizing this awesome webinar.
Thank you to Greg, Mas Adit, and Mbak Afriana. We wish you best of luck. Cross my finger, kalau tahun ini saya bisa ke Inggris, ntar saya bawain bumbu rendang.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks to the Warwick volunteers from the Afriana, and also the two students from PPE Warwick. Yeah. So thank you for all the support that you give to the students on campus, as well as to me as working with the Indonesian students.
Okay. Thank you very much. So we'll keep in touch. Sampai ketemu lagi. Jangan lupa silahkan hubungi kita kalau ingin tanya-tanya mengenai Warwick, pendaftaran untuk Warwick dari sekarang sudah sebaiknya dimulai ya. Sampai jumpa Pak Imran, Mas Adit, Mbak Afri, Greg. Good luck to you all. Enjoy Warwick. Bye bye.
Thank you, Pak Hendra. Thank you, Imran. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pak Hendra. Thank you, Pak Imran.
Thank you, Afriana, Aditya.
Thanks, Pak. See you again.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye.